Okay, seems to be working. Now, hopefully, Introduction to American Institutions. Woo! I'm just so embarrassed, you know. I mean, I thought, they're saying, what, I didn't write down I'm going to have to talk to the secretary to find out what I did wrong in terms of, but now, okay, now we got the American Institutions class up. You have any other questions? Okay. So, you know, I mean, I just, you know, it's just very strange what's going on in Ukraine and very tragic, you know. And given that the European Union is supposed to be a peace strategy for Europe, and inadvertently or intentionally, somebody could make an argument that it's making the conflict worse. And there is some discussion this morning about in the news about how there's some kind of diplomacy going on with the Europeans, not the Americans. I think the Europeans with Russia. We'll see what that outcome will be. But as we're here, I mean, this conflict is getting worse and worse and worse. And when people, you know, I mean, Russians are human beings too, like Americans, like Sardinians, like Italians, like Mexicans, and they love their children just like we love our children. When their soldiers are dying, you know, and they believe their leader the way so many people believe Trump, Donald Trump. I mean, it's not just Russians that are nationalistic and engage in stereotyping. Americans do it, Poles do it, but the way the media is covering this, the Russians are being, and Russia's being demonized again in ways that I remember from 40 years ago when I was a student your age during the Cold War. And it's not good. It's a dangerous situation because Russia is not the Soviet Union. So, all right, so that's why I keep coming back to this, because again, this is Ukraine, because the European Union, this textbook is supposed to be a plan for peace in Europe. And now it's being tested. And again, all right, so that's all. So let me, again, go back to the... Yeah, okay. Okay. Hi. See you. Okay, so what's that?
베이컨 스토리 새로운 엠버서더 블랙핑크의 지선입니다. 안녕하세요.
Just a few hours ago, a Texas judge issued a temporary injunction. This now blocks the state from investigating gender-affirming care of transgender children as child abuse. Our Alexis Wainwright shares a North Texas family's personal story with you about being under investigation and what that means for them and others like them across the state.
There's a sense of hope for some people as this wider-ranging injunction is granted. Tonight, we're hearing more from a North Texas family who says they were being investigated by the state. A Texas judge has officially stopped the state of Texas from investigating parents of transgender children for gender-affirming care.
That's relief for the families that have been involved and a lot of folks who are following this case all across Texas, particularly the LGBTQIA+ community and families with transgender children.
Like the parents of this 14-year-old who lives in North Texas, the Briggle family doesn't want to reveal his name.
The stakes have never been this high or real for us.
The Briggle family says the state started investigating them last week, but they came public about it Tuesday. Attorney General Ken Paxton issued a legal opinion which led to at least 9 similar investigations across the state. Paxton is no stranger to the Briggles. In 2016, he had dinner with the entire family to talk about transgender issues.
They know we're not child abusers. They know we're not child abusers. He sat at my table and broke bread with my family and then says that families like mine should not exist. It's a political stunt.
Friday, shortly after the decision was made in court, Paxton tweeted, quote, Democrat judge tries to halt legal and necessary investigations into those trying to abuse our kids through trans surgeries and prescription drugs. I'm appealing. I'll win this fight to protect our Texas children. Alexis Wainwright, CBS 11 News.
Okay, so there you see the latest news report in controversies at the state level, the American states adopting policies that in this case, in Texas, the governor of Texas is a Republican, has directed the Texas Attorney General to investigate any treatment of children who are transgender, who, in other words, they are born biologically with male or female reproductive organs, but psychologically they feel that they are another gender, that there is what's called gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care is the term used for giving these children treatment so that their identity as, I think here we have the, is this the, this might be the wrong one, sorry. Let me find the article, the news article I wanted to highlight that covers this topic. Yes, here it is, that the governor of Texas is ordering the state of Texas Attorney General, the legal prosecution office of the state of Texas to investigate cases of so-called gender-affirming care. And so make sure that I'm sharing the screen here and go here. I have to always remember to do these things so I don't forget. So I think, yeah. So here is the report from the news of the Texas governor ordering this treatment to be investigated as child abuse. And Governor Greg Abbott told state health agencies in Texas on Tuesday that medical treatments provided to transgender adolescents, children under 18 years old, widely considered to be the standard of care in medicine, should be classified as child abuse under existing state law. So this treatment for transgender youth involves, for example, giving these children hormone therapy in the advanced stages, hormone therapy to block, for example, the development of their biological characteristics when they become adults or begin to become adults, puberty, right? Puberty also can involve, in the last stages, surgical treatments to change young people's identities. And he's ordered, this is from last week, he has ordered the state of Texas to investigate any so-called child affirming care, as it's called, gender affirming care as child abuse. And one of the reasons why gender affirming care is given to these adolescents is because these young people are particularly prone, not all of them, but they're particularly prone towards suicidal tendencies, that they're so unhappy and so ashamed and often abused and bullied by other children in school that the people that, young people that kill themselves, who commit suicide, disproportionately are LGBTQ young people. Like 30 to 40% of the young people that commit suicide or try to commit suicide are LGBTQ transgender. And so that's why this is called gender affirming care. Partly the justification being that we want to reduce the tendency of these people, of these young people, to think about committing suicide, right? And but for many conservative people, many hardcore believers in the American creed that we talked about online in classes, this is the latest example of the abandonment of traditional American values of man and woman being the only two that can be married, traditional American values as expressed in the church by the moksa, by the minister, interpreting the Bible, because of course the Bible doesn't talk about gender affirming care. The Bible doesn't think, I don't even think it talks about abortion access. That's another topic, right? That the American society is being taken over by these secular social activists who are threatening the foundational core of America in traditional conservative American values. And the strongest, politically strongest place where you find the strongest conservative interpretation of the American creed, which we've talked about online, is in Texas. Texas is the heart of American conservatism. It's the, in a lot of ways, because it's so big, it's the third most populous state, maybe the second or third most populous state in the United States. It's big, and you have the strongest support for the Donald Trump phenomenon. Politicians who are successful in Texas have a predisposition to run for president. So George W. Bush was a governor of Texas, and he was a Republican. His father, George H.W. Bush, was vice president and then vice president of Ronald Reagan. And Greg Abbott is this governor of Texas. He's considering running for president in the United States. And Donald Trump won Texas overwhelmingly in the 2016 and 2020 elections. Not as great as in some places, like in West Virginia. Donald Trump won by 30 or 40% more of the votes over Hillary Clinton in 2016. But West Virginia is only 1.6 million people. Texas is, I think, at least 35 million people live in Texas. So it's rich, it's powerful, it's prosperous, and it's big, and it's politically influential. So this is like the laboratory for these battles over American federalism, over interpretation of American values, and this traditional distrust of powerful central government. Yes. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? So let me see. You see me now? Do you see me? You see this? So so you think I have to sign off and sign back on? Okay, okay, we're gonna sign off and sign back on. I apologize, apparently there's some problem here. So